Okay, welcome to Mobile Freedom Enterprise. Here we have a vintage. I'll show you a photo. I believe I have one uploaded of this is a 22 by 14 vintage size. 22 diameter and 14 deep. In my opinion, sounds far greater than the 18 or 20 inches that are around today. And actually this size I think is more expensive online. Anyways, this is a very vintage bass drum. I don't know what manufacturer it was, but it had a white cover, and you can see that the wood is very low quality, so it's probably maybe a Camco or not a Camco, a Jugs or something like that. But it's vintage because it has here it had the small splash cymbal holder, and it has the traditional bass drum spurs at the bottom that stick out sideways. That don't do very well at all. I'm gonna update it with modern spurs. What I like about this is that the opening for this fits my vintage Tama holder, which is a very odd size. There isn't any stand out of 20 stands that I have that fit this tom holder, so this is going to be perfect for the Tama. And that's the color I'm just going to imitate. It's not going to be perfect. But I was thinking about getting some white spray paint, and as you can see in the previous color pattern on the Tama, that's a Rockstar Custom wood stain in blue. It looks like there's a white base, so the point of the white is to water it down and just to get the grain to pop out, and then go over it with a blue. But I'll do a few test areas on the bottom. I'll go over with the antique white in one section to see if that looks better. I'll do all the testing on the opposite side of this. This dries in 1 hour. It's really good. This is antique white that might go underneath, or I was thinking about antique white and maybe this vintage aqua over it. And then I'm going to use the natural color wood stain, and I'm going to mix it with this oil, this dark blue oil, Prussian blue, and to imitate that same color that you just saw. So let's see how it goes. Wish me luck. First time I do this. Well, this is one of these hacks I saw in one of these videos. You can take any natural wood stain. It has to be natural color, and it has to be oil. Get any oil and mix it in. And just in case it's too dark, I picked up, this is acrylic, it's a turquoise. So we'll see. I'll let you know later as we go. I'm not going to show you how I mix and do all that. I'll just show you after the application. You notice in the photo that there's, you could see a hint of blue and white. White with some blue, and it looks like there's also some black. So that's why I put the first layer of white. And you can see the natural black from some of the wood underneath. So I'm going to try to rely on that fact that that's enough black. Or what is that? Oh my god. That's the problem with having cats at home. Inside the house, there's always cat hairs flying around. If you're allergic, it's hell. Anyways, so this blue is dark enough that I think that'll eliminate the black in the paint that you see in the original finish. So here I did a light coat of the blue just to start off, just to see what it looks like, and that's the bottom of the bass drum, so if I screw up, it won't be noticeable. And I noticed that the white was mixing in, so the white wasn't totally dried, so I left it out a few more hours out in the sun. Now it's nice and non-tacky and dry. We're going to continue. I put more blue into, this is the wood stain, natural. Shake it up some more. And I'll show you what it looks like after a few. The stain looks pretty dark, but when applied here, you'll see it's very, well, that's what a stain is basically. Just it's a thin coat of paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go directly with some oil paint and see if we can emulate the blacks on the original paint, and then go over it with that light. And here we have, with the oil directly on the surface, looks a lot greater. So I think I'm going to go over it with the oil and then go over it with the stain. After maybe a minute, I dabbed the oil directly on in different spots and then took the stain, once it's watered down, and extended it over. Right now it looks like painting, doesn't look, but I'm going to go over those streaks there and make it more realistic. I mean, not realistic, but I'm just going to eliminate the swaths of sponge, although it doesn't matter on the bottom, just to get a good idea. I'm going to take a look at the original paint on the kit and stuff. It's important that you let the white dry, because here's the spot where I originally went over with the blue stain, and it peeled off some of the white. So you can see some of the brown wood underneath. So it's very important that you go over the white, go over the tom with the white first and allow it to dry. Can't be tacky, it has to be really dry, where you can wipe your finger on it and it's not sticky or tacky at all. Because that's not what you want. You want it to look like this. This is the actual drum, and I'll show a picture of the, I think one coat will do it. We'll see. Okay, after painting for a bit, you know, you learn as you go. You want to put in a lot of the oil and then try, you know, for example, this wood grain doesn't have a lot of grains in it. It's pretty cheap wood, whatever it is. It would be poplar, Luan, or something like that. Something they use on cheap drum kits. And there's really not a lot of, you know, there's a texture, but there's no, I don't even know what they call it, but there's no wood grain. I don't see, I'm sure there's a technical name for it. Oh, what's this? Anyways, so piece of advice, take the actual oil paint and emulate wood grain. And I gotta be quick because I want to do this before that dries. But emulate the wood grain, whatever you imagine wood grain looks like to you. And then, like I have here, and then when you go over the oil, the water-based stain, it'll mix in and give you more of a wood grain look. So like I've done there. Another tactic. The same idea after it's been painted. See, because as you see, it's coming out a bit too light, and you've been going over it later. Let it dry just a little bit and then go over with a tip like this. Just grabbing a little and creating some streaks. And then going over it again with, if you notice the original, seems like it has a lot of black. I want to mix black in here, otherwise it'll change the tint, the hue of the actual blue. It may just have some black. Here I'm showing you more of a tactic that I think works. And what's nice about oil paint is that it doesn't dry up very quickly. So it'll be moist enough for when you go over with a stain, it'll mix. You see, when it's just too strong, like in those areas, on the second coat of the stain, that'll cover that up a bit. That's the beauty of working with these paints on wood, that it takes a while for it to dry. Like the white took overnight to dry. And yeah, let's see what happens. We're almost done with the first coat going around. This was at Michael's Artist Loft, the least expensive oil. This is 2 fluid ounces. This was $6. And This stain here was only $5 at Home Depot. This is the tiniest one you can get. I don't think you'll need more per drum. Or maybe this will work for up to 3 drums. I don't know, I'll let you know. Spongy thingy. You don't want to keep going over it back and forth because the sponge will actually pick up what you already created underneath and pull up to the white, which you can see here when you just go over it too many times. But here's the first. I think I'll go over it lightly with more blue afterwards. And the outcome after it dried, just a couple of hours. That's gonna disappear a little bit with the next coat, but I decided to take a rag and add some black. Now, since I don't have black paint or stain, I decided to take some spray paint with a wet rag. It's black spray paint. Just to give it a little effect of the, it's Adrian. The effect of some black in the paint. All right, so we'll continue that. Of course, always remember, do it on the bottom of the tom, the bass drum, or on the opposite side of the tom that isn't going to be viewed by your audience. So it looks kind of dirty there. So we'll do the next step. Okay, here it is, the final stretch. But I see that it's just too blue, so I'm going to go over it with some spray paint mixed with mineral spirits. Let's see what happens. Here's the finished product. Okay, I might have started too soon. Okay, so here's the finished product. Look out for the next video to see how it looks with the rest of the kit. See if I came close. There's no thick polyurethane on it because I love that wood grain feel that I don't have on the rest of the kit. But it's vintage. What can I say? As long as it looks similar from far away, we're good. And I did add polyurethane. I added polyurethane to the interior, which I had done in the past, and it greatly improves the sound. But here's what it looks like, basically, without the heads on yet. Look for the video online when I set it up with the rest of the kit. See what you think. Thanks so much for watching Mobile Freedom Enterprise. See you soon with the rest of the kit.